Hey guys, good morning. Happy Saturday. It's Daryl here, and happy 4th of July. It is 6 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. I wasn't quite prepared to do a video today. I know I say that a lot, but I really wasn't. I have a lot of plans for today. But I want to talk briefly about Trump's speech at Mount Rushmore last night. Um, I'm not going to go over the whole thing, but in general, I'm going to say it felt like he's just is continuing to divide the country. I think it sounded like he's trying to get people's attention away to the ongoing mess that is the COVID-19. I don't know if I should call it reemergence. It's not really a second wave. The numbers, let's see, yesterday for Friday it was 54,000. The day before, 57,000 total infections was an all-time record. So 54,000 was close again yesterday. It's still extraordinarily high, higher than it was through this whole thing. But so Trump talked about how the radical left is trying to take over America, trying to have a second revolution. He actually said, you know that somebody's grasping at straws when they start talking about the children. Oh my gosh, the children. So he said that the far left is trying to influence our children and destroy our democracy and all that. All I have to say about that, people like him need a boogeyman. And his supporters are the type of people that need somebody to hate. I think they thrive off that hate, and the fear and the resulting in the hate. He talked about the radical left and how they're destroying the country and how they must be, he'll stamp them out. What I see is a country that is just tired, that has had enough of the way that current law enforcement treats minorities, and treats people in general. And that's just a small part of the overall issue of trying to move forward and acknowledge our past. What I really want to talk about is Trump. So Trump proposed his own Garden of American Heroes. I'm not sure where he wants to put this, but it's kind of in a retaliation for his beloved Confederate statues, his beloved Columbus statues being torn down. I think a lot of this has to do with it's just something to fire up his base, and I think it's and anything to, as they say, own the libs. So he proposes this Garden of American Heroes. You know what? I'm okay with that. Put it on one of his Trump properties, one of his golf resorts, one of his 17 golf resorts. That's my suggestion. You do that, and I don't care what he puts up. So I was listening intently to the people that he suggested go into his Garden of American Heroes, and it was predominantly white founders of this country, white presidents, and they are part of our history. They are men. And men have failings. Men sin, and they all have their downfalls. But what I was really listening for was to see if it represented all of the nationalities and races that built this country. We know the Italian people, the Irish people, the Native American people, all worked to build this country. So I was listening rather intently to who he suggested go in his Garden of American Heroes, and I did not hear one single Native American name. Granted, and this is such a huge shame of the country that not a lot of people know many Native American heroes, many famous Native Americans through history. Our current history system in public schools doesn't teach the important people the important original American people and what they contributed. Well, what comes to mind is the Iroquois Confederacy. Um, Back in, I believe it was 1142, there was here in this area where my heritage is from, there was a lot of inter-tribe, inter-nation war between the native people. There were 5 basic nations, and they had a meeting. I think it was called the Great Peacekeeper. And they came up with the Articles of Confederacy for the Iroquois Confederacy. It was basically the first. It was a preview to our own Constitution. A lot of our Constitution came from ideas in the Iroquois Confederacy. I'm kind of skipping around on this. I'm going to leave a link below so you guys could get a better idea of what I'm talking about. But I mean, what can contribute more to this nation, America, this great nation, than the Constitution? And part of where the original Constitution came from was the Iroquois Confederacy. It is the oldest participatory democratic government in the world ever. I didn't know that. I thought maybe Greece would be Greece or something else, but it is the oldest participatory democratic system. Also, our national emblem with the eagle with the olive branch, or in one claw, and the 13 arrows in the other claw. Those 13 arrows came from the Iroquois Confederacy. How they talked about how a bunch of arrows are harder to break than just one arrow, meaning it became 6 nations, the 6 nations of the Confederacy, the Iroquois Confederacy, and that's what they were talking about. It was basically a preview to our original 13 colonies. There's a lot of similarities between the Iroquois Confederacy back in 1142 and our Constitution and the original 13 colonies in 1776. So my point here is, when you're talking about great Americans and Trump's Garden of American Heroes, it'd be nice if it'd be righteous if he did include something like this. The original inhabitants, the original Americans that were here before those immigrants came and spread their disease from Europe. Anyway, I'll leave the link below so you guys could get a better understanding of the Iroquois Confederacy. All right, you guys have a good 4th of July.